Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha, Rekakwadash Mamat. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Ahirawan, Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, here in Jacksonville, Florida. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Atwafim, and children that believe in truth and sincerity. It's your brother Atanyala, back to you with another lesson. The Yaharatazah is edifying. And it's just pertaining to how Neuro, all right, Donald Trump is trying to send National Guard. Believe it was 19 states. All right, DC was one of them. All right, due to high crime, and it's really just putting up in the ante when it comes to Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 7. All right, various other scriptures. Right. Here is it was a news clip about the Chicago residents because it's been crime in these cities even through the course of the last years, decade, or whatever. But it's not in the peak that it was in to where it needed to be National Guard in the past years, especially during the pandemic and the lock when everybody was out there, they was out there looting and stuff like that. More so than now, which shows there's more of an agenda. All right, this is all spiritual as well. And let's go bring Esau to Straits, man. Let's go bring Esau to Straits and leading him to Revelations 12 and 12, him coming down with that great wrath on the people because he's running out of time. All right. But I just wanted to play this article real quick and get some scriptures. And Yaharatazah is edifying.
I've been living here for 57 years, and I feel very safe in Chicago. I think it's a very safe community. I travel a lot, and I go to a lot of other places that are much more drug infested and than Chicago.
A veces sales y realmente no quieres salir porque hay mucho vandalismo, muchos robos, mucha agresión en las calles y es lo que a veces no me siento muy segura cuando salgo.
The last 12 months, the nation has seen a 20% decline in homicide. Chicago has seen a 30% decline in homicide. Chicago is doing better than the rest of the country on a lot of really important measures.
I don't feel that it's necessary to send troops to Chicago. It's not necessarily something that should be utilized in our time span. I think that if that was necessary, things would be a lot different here in Chicago.
We shouldn't feel threatened by the federal government if they come because we're in the United States and they run the country and we elected them and put them in office. So they should be there to help us, not scare us.
He's full of crap.
So the people looking at it as what? The government, quote unquote, should be helping us, not acting as if they're scared of us and so on and so forth, right? And it's all spiritual because it's the climate that Esau is bringing upon his own people. All right, the scriptures say, all right, because of his pride, the cities are troubled. Okay, it's roughly paraphrasing. One of the first scriptures I want to get is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? This is Jacob's trouble. This is what the Lord warned us and forewarned us about. And this is ultimately what we have to go through to get out of this system, this captivity. All right. But 2/3 of our people, they're gonna use this time to even cling on to massa because they suffer Stockholm syndrome. And guess what? When the Lord show up, they're gonna have to they're gonna be held accountable for that. All right. As thou join hand in hand, the wicked is not going unpunished. Right. It says here back in Jeremiah 30 and 7, it says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? The he represents the elect, the remnant, the men, women, and children that's saved, that's written to be saved from the said perils, man. All right. The 144,000 men and the 1/3 men, women, and children that's written in the book for salvation. All right. Let's go wake up, wake the hell up. Let's go worship the Lord in truth and sincerity. Let's go call upon his rightful names, Yahweh, and his son rightful name, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God and JC. All right, but this is back in Jeremiah 30 and 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, right? Hosts meaning armies, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, right? That bondage, right? As we went from the physical yoke to a spiritual yoke, right? He's trying to bring in that spiritual yoke, the pair of balances spoken of in Revelations. All right, but the Lord says what? He will break his yoke from off thy neck. And that's what he's doing. All right, he didn't say it was going to be easy because this devil has been fully established through lies, right? And will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, right? You know, it's not going to be the great melting pot that it was established to be and is relishing in. It's going to be, he's going to be judged, all right? From now, I want to get the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, right? You know, those fanners. That's why the Lord sent those fanners, those foreigners, to empty her, all right? Empty her land, all right? Waste this place, you know, exercise its resources to where it can be a third, we can fill the third world country. Um, it can be the third world country that it is, right? So he's gonna be in straits, all right, just like ancient Nineveh, man. He's fighting a battle on multiple fronts to then be worried about in-house, so to speak, domestic, right? Domestic terrorism, and even the climate in the atmosphere we're in, going into their fake memorial of 9/11, all right, which they caused upon themselves, right? So he got battles on all fronts. Then to be worried about in-house at home is even worse for him, you know. This is back in Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Right. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Right. You know. Verse 25. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yeah, the glistening sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Right. He's wounded spiritually right now. And he knows terrors is upon him. Again, that's what's going to lead to Revelations 12 and 12. Him really turning into an utter madman that he is. Right. He's going to show us horns. This is Job 18 and 11. We'll go back a couple of chapters, right? It's Job 18 and verse 11. It says, terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet, right? You know, and it's the place with no missile defense system. So hey, he's paranoid. And that's why he has the whole world, and especially in this country, in a state of paranoia, right? The mindset of paranoia, the fear mongering, etc. All right, because of what he know, he has a short time. All right, he has the unaliving complex, right? Because it's ultimately getting ready to happen to him. You know, from a physical standpoint and spiritual standpoint, according to Obadiah 1 and 18, is all thus saith the Lord. But it is Jacob's trouble, all right. But it's the wickedness of Jake that's gonna get caught up in it, because he loves to be in it, all right. He loves his massa, all right. But Shalom, Habatah, and DTA to the next one, man. It's for us who listening and learning, all right. We hoping to have the mark of the Wa in Ezekiel 9 and 4, meaning exempt from judgment, to where we have spiritual protection, a spiritual cloak, to where we're not touched from the oncoming judgments that's coming upon Esau, the heathen, all right, and 2/3 of our people. Shalom, Habatah, DTA, until the next one.